Thank you, yeah. I take issue with what the resident said about just repeating the word fairness and opportunity. If she looked at for instance, the Adult Safeguarding Commissioning Plan, and she looked at the priorities, and she read the key outcomes, which talk about working age adults and older people living a healthy, full and active life. And those sorts of things go on and on about us being very concerned actually about our residents and what sort of life they have and actually having a healthy, happy life. Then I take issue with that. So what does she actually think? Rather than talking about how the service is delivered, whether it's public or private, I'm not really interested in that, to be honest. I'm interested in the key outcomes for our residents. So saying something doesn't mean it's true. So Chairman, the activist can shout, I don't care. Chairman, I would like to ask the resident what she thinks of the priority of key outcomes, planning for life, the early intervention and prevention, the person-centred integrated support, the safeguarding, all of those things, of which £80 million of this council's money is going to be spent on. What does she actually think about those, rather than talking about delivery methods?
Oh, Councillor Thomas, she thinks how unfortunate that you cannot hear the people behind me. Because they...
Three of them.
Excuse me?
It's not a full public gallery. It's the same people who come. It's the same people. Activists who come to this meeting, and that's my point. We talk about real residents in this paper, and this is a certain activist group who would like to come to this and shout.
Actually, what you have to understand, Councillor, is there are many more people who simply cannot come to these meetings, who do not agree with your ideas. No, you shake your head. You talk about all these fine words. I should look at what you're saying.
What do you think about the outcomes was my question.
I think that your outcomes are the same as the crap you put on the surveys. You ask people, don't you believe?
She hasn't got an answer.
I do have an answer if you shut up and let me finish. Yeah.
Fight.
You have nothing to say, Councillor, until I have answered the question.
This is the true face of the opposition in Barnet.
Yes, it is. It's the opposition that would like to be heard.
I'm glad that's been filmed. I'm really glad that's been filmed.
Good. Now can I answer your question? You talk about these outcomes.
Could you turn the volume down, please?
Oh, I just wanted people to hear it back.
But Mr. Jacobson, people might hear, but they certainly can't listen.
Right. Oh. Okay. The things that you quote are the same euphemistic claptrap that we find on every survey. This is what we want. We want the people to have a full life. We want them to do this. We want them to do that. It doesn't matter how that service is delivered. Of course it matters how the service is delivered. That informs the quality of the service. And if you don't understand that, it explains why you vote the way you do. You don't understand it, Councillor, because if you did, you'd understand the arithmetic of it. That you cannot deliver the same service with fewer professionals in each of these categories. That you cannot... No, don't interrupt me again. It really gets annoying.
I've got a second question for you. What do you think of the 20% increase in satisfaction of residents over the last 4 years?
Yes. I think it depends very much who you ask and what you ask.
1,600 residents.
350,000 did not vote for you.
The statistics are not impressive. 1,600 of 350,000.
That's more than a YouGov poll.
I don't care what it's more than. It isn't more than the population.
Not selected in the same way.
I have to point out to you that every single survey that we get starts out with these wonderful platitudes. Don't you believe in free air, good water, a roof over your head? Yes, of course we believe in that. And then the next questions ask you to rate which one you want more. The air, the water, or the roof. And then they ask you, and how long would you like it for? 1 hour? 2 hours? Or 3 hours? And then they ask you on which day of the week you would like it. So that by the time you have cut your own throat you said you wanted. So it depends how you ask the questions, the answers you get. And these surveys follow a pattern of manipulating people into a closed box corner of despair.
Mr. Davidson, you mentioned just now, you said 1,600 people not representative of the borough, as the Council made this clear, there's quite a significant number. But your people behind you, now people behind you, statistically people behind you, there's about 10 or 12 of them that are behind you, or that you have a group of,
Maybe
let's not argue, maybe 20 or like 25 people. We're talking about 25. You just said 1,600 not represented.
1,600.
20 people behind you. But you must have other people behind you. So you must have the masses outside who belong to the Barnet Alliance of Public Services. Do you have 1,600 people belonging to that? How many people do belong to Barnet Alliance?
Do you think they're the only ones who disagree with you,
Who you speak on behalf of? The people behind you are those people. How many people are behind you who are members of this alliance?
I wouldn't know. How many people are members of the Barnet Alliance?
How many?
How many counted when the elections come?
Are these questions about the report of privatization of the rest of our services you are going to do later tonight? Or is that about Barnet Alliance? Why don't you
I do not know the total membership of the Barnet Alliance. I do know that there are many people who are not activists who oppose these plans. And I don't like the way Councillor Thomas uses activists to dismiss people's opinion.
Excuse me, the important point is that rich people who afford to pay for everything are satisfied with the council. The poor people in places like Grand Park and West Hendon and places where I live in private accommodation do not vote because they're not on the internet, or they don't get the service, or they don't care. Right? Rich people are satisfied with your services. Poor people aren't, and they don't fill your surveys.
This gentleman, is he a member of your activists?
No, he's
No.
not.
How many people? You can't answer that. You don't know how many people. You don't know how many people you represent. Okay, fine.
I have a constructive suggestion. Why don't Barnet Alliance organize a public meeting and invite you, as we had tried on numerous occasions, come to our public meeting and speak with us, and then we can discuss our ideas and yours.
How many people do you know?
Would you come, Mr. Finn? Would you come to our public meeting if you invite
1,600 people. I've come to talk to 1,600 people, but you don't know how many people you've got.
In the city of London, they've got resident free board.
And the resident.
Would you come? Would you come? Mr. Cornelius here refused to come to a full board of meeting.
I apologize for
Mr. Cornelius here, Mr. Thomas refused to come to our meetings. Why don't you?
Excuse me, Councillor, you did not embarrass me. The fact that I do not know the total number of the membership does not embarrass me.
I'm pleased. I would like to vote.
You embarrassed yourself.
You couldn't possibly. You can only embarrass yourself.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Thanks for coming this evening.